If you're upset at what's happening over in California with the fires and you just so happen to be on the left, here's something important to remember. For some odd reason, your Democrat mayor, LA Mayor Karen Bass, decided that we should cut the funding of the fire department by almost $20 million. Good job, Democrats. As always, the Los Angeles Fire Department had its budget cut by a staggering $17.6 million this financial year. But don't worry, guys, she's there for you guys. Not really. Actually, she's in Ghana right now for the Ghana's president's inauguration. Oh, and where did they allocate that $17 million towards? Yep, $22 million was allocated to fund supportive services, housing, and other resources for illegal immigrant families who recently arrived in the city. Shout out to you, Mayor Karen Bass. You know how you keep hearing this thing that we should probably prioritize America first before we spend money on, I don't know, things like 16 different fire departments in Ukraine, making sure that they have protective gear, motor pumps, chainsaws, all this various things. See, Ukrainian fire departments are thoroughly prepared for any emergency thanks to American funding.
Not looking good for the Los Angeles mayor, Karen Bass, who literally was out of town, just came back in, and residents are ripping into her. A lot of people are saying that there is just too much focus on DEI and wokeism and all of that. But we can have a conversation about that. But this reporter is legitimately eating her up alive. She has no response. Watch what this reporter does and watch her reaction as she is speechless, can't even talk as to the failure of this, because we know that Karen Bass is getting ripped up because of the fact that she cut fire department funding by 17.6 million. We know the recalls. People are calling for a recall count for her to be out, for Gavin Newsom to be out. Many Democrats in the state are losing their minds over the fact that there is no water in the fire hydrants. And again, let's just get into this video so that way you guys know exactly what I'm talking about here.
Citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning. Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today? Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position? Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster? No apology for them? Do you think you should have been visiting Ghana while this was unfolding back home? Madam Mayor, let me ask you just again, have you anything to say to the citizens today as you return?
Hold on one second.
Man, that is a shame. She literally has nothing to say, not even an apology, nothing to say. Anybody from LA, please comment down below on how she's been doing so far in LA. But this is crazy. Nothing to say. As you can see down here, it says LA police say that this is a tragic time in history.
Madam Mayor, just a few words for the citizens today as you return to deal with the catastrophe.
Can you take this down?
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is crazy.
David, as you say, she wasn't very keen to answer any of your questions there. And fire chiefs are also admitting that they just don't have enough personnel to take out the fires.
Bro, we are the United States of America, but our local officials are so incompetent. It is not looking good for Democrats. It's not looking good at all. Like, do you hear this?
Yeah, they're fighting all sorts of challenges. They're talking about a water shortage. There are reports of fire hydrant failures. They've been unable to use firefighting aircraft for much of the day due to the smoke that is billowing ominously from the hills where the wildfires are raging. And I suppose despite that political storm, this is, of course, at its heart, a human story, because we've now 80,000 people evacuated. Tens of thousands of others are on standby to be evacuated. 2 lives have been lost in the Eaton fire, which is what's causing the consequence behind us. The city's iconic landscape almost shrouded completely by the smoke. And they're really just taking it one step at a time, hoping at some stage the wind's going to change direction or to die down, and that they're going to be able to get this fire under control.
It's just crazy. Strong winds fueling destruction. Over 1,000 buildings have been destroyed. Again, if you look into these articles that are coming out, LA Mayor Karen Bass cut fire department funding by $17.6 million months before wildfires turned city into hellscape. More information on this. This is coming from New York Post. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass faced scorching criticism Wednesday as it was revealed that she cut the city's fire department budget and was traveling thousands of miles away in Ghana when the flames broke out. The budget cut was the second largest in Bass's 2024-2025 fiscal budget, city figures show. And it wasn't even the gutting she wanted. She wanted to cut more, actually, which is just crazy. If she had her way, the LA Fire Department budget would have been slashed by $23 million, they say. That's actually even worse. Los Angeles Karen Bass cut the fire department's funding by $17.6 million in fiscal year. As you can see right here, all the budgeting and all the placements from the fire department. So again, the decrease for the fire department says here was the second largest cut, as we just heard. Her budget cuts resurfaced as the Los Angeles Fire Department issued a rare plea asking off-duty firefighters to join the battle against 3 massive wildfires burning across the city, which were kicked up Tuesday by 100-mile-per-hour Santa Ana winds and have proceeded to grow by the hour. They're still growing by now. At least 70,000 people have been ordered to evacuate from their homes as the fire has become the most destructive in the city's history within just one day. And again, this is all continuing. It's all about leadership management, and that we're seeing a failure of, and all these residents are paying the ultimate price of that, said Rick Caruso, an LA developer who lost the city's 2022 mayoral race to Bass. Again, who are you choosing out there, LA? Are you choosing woke politics versus actual people that can help and get the job done? That's what it seems like right now. Ahmed reports the LA fire hydrants have run dry as firefighters battle the flames. Caruso said Bass was directly to blame and called out for her being literally absent as the city burned. I think you should start asking, why don't you call the mayor who is out of the country and ask her, ? Get an answer from her, he told Fox LA. So why is he answering the questions and not her? Isn't that crazy? He lost the race because people decided to choose her to be the mayor. As the flames kicked up Tuesday and exploded overnight into Wednesday, Bass was 7,400 miles away in Ghana, where she was celebrating the inauguration of the president over there. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass is on taxpayer-funded trip to Africa and a part of Biden administration presidential delegation while her city is burning to the ground, wrote America First Works President Ashley Hayek on X. Again, just absolutely devastating what's going on out there. Elon Musk, who Trump tapped to serve in his cabinet, even chimed in and called Bass utterly incompetent. Bass finally returned to Los Angeles Wednesday, where she met California Governor Gavin Newsom amid the torched rubble as flames still burned uncontained across the city, and they're still burning today. So definitely not looking good for Karen Bass. This is a wake-up call to a lot of people right now over the fact that they chose this mayor over Rick Caruso. Again, you have a bunch of people ripping into her, specifically residents, for good reasons is the question. I believe so. Again, this is not a good look for democratic progressive politics, as this call to action is just absolutely insane. And what's so crazy about this is a lot of people want to blame Donald J. Trump. But again, we are only on the 8th day. Today's the 8th, January 8th on a Wednesday. We still have a wild way to go, the way that this start of the new year is going, before we get to January 20th, the inauguration, where Trump can finally, get into office and start taking action. But this is not good. Also, Donald J. Trump called Gavin Newsom responsible for this because of the fact that throughout years he could have did something about the water, obviously facing, more threats of wildfires. Many people are blaming, if we go here, many people are blaming, Bernie Sanders took action and he said 80,000 people told to evacuate, blazes zero contained. 8 months since the area has seen rain. The scale of damage and loss is unimaginable. He says climate change is real, not a hoax. Donald Trump must treat this like the existential crisis it is. He shows a picture of what it looks like overhead. We also have a response here from Nick Shorter, who he says if Democrats were truly worried about the large fires due to climate change, why would they cut $17 million from the Los Angeles Fire Department and hand that money over to illegals? Someone make it make sense. And I think that sentence right then literally ends the career of Karen Bass, who legitimately couldn't even answer a question from the Sky News reporter who came out there and literally asked her, hey, do you have an apology? While you were away, this is happening. You also slashed the budget. And once again, if Democrats were taking climate change as real of a threat as it is, why cut the department, the fire department, instead of funding them $100 million if this is your biggest worry and you know that this would happen? So again, very devastating, tragic news happening in the city of Los Angeles in California. It's just going to keep spreading. It looks like it might. Right now they're trying to contain it. A fire hydrant, there's no water. It's just a lot. It's just a lot, ladies and gentlemen. So if they want to blame climate change, then blame Democrats for not taking it serious enough to fund in the areas that they should have been funding. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to let me know what your thoughts is down in the comments below. This is just tragic. My prayers goes out to everybody out there in California who is going through this. And I'll see you guys on the next one.